We think about things in life, some things are really essential and other things are just luxuries. I want to share with you that hormone health is not just a luxury. It's really the foundation of any woman's health, energy, and vitality. And that goes for the guys as well. But particularly for women, as we navigate through different life stages, we have the fertile years, and having really good hormone balance is absolutely essential. And then when we move beyond the fertile years, when we're I guess, shifting towards menopause, it still becomes really foundational and critical to have good hormone levels because hormones allow us to have good mood, to sleep well, to digest our food properly. Believe it or not, there is a microbiome effect as a metabolome, for example. Also, they help us to focus, concentrate, learn, work. Um, Hormones are so critical to every aspect of our wellness and well-being. And your hormones really are the key, particularly in perimenopause, to finding balance and stability. So I really believe that with all the different life stages that I've worked with as a women's health clinician, that perimenopause is the ideal time to tune into your body and support it with what it needs. There's a lot of shifts going on. There's a lot of recalibrations occurring. I've talked about these recalibrations in different videos, but in particular, perimenopause has three. So you have a cognitive shift that occurs that affects the way that you work, learn, memorize, and just cognitively function. So that's recalibrating because your brain is working differently with hormones. Hormones are changing and so on. So the brain needs different types of food and stimulus or stimuli. So the second recalibration is the hormones, because you do have a drop in progesterone, first of all, and then you move into a drop in estrogen, and FSH might be increasing. Luteinizing hormone might be doing weird and wonderful things. So you're not ovulating, and then you're not producing progesterone, and the cycle goes on. So you've got a lot of these hormone changes going on, including an increase in testosterone and sometimes a fall in testosterone. So up and down. And you need someone like me, like a naturopath or a women's health clinician, to actually look at your body, your symptoms, and sometimes your test results to tell you exactly what's going on with these hormones, because it's different for all of us. The third recalibration that's going on is actually to do with your metabolism. And this is why a lot of women have body composition changes in perimenopause. And let's face it, some of us do not like it because we are used to being very active, energetic, and having the energy to exercise. Suddenly we're tired all the time, or we're continuing to do the exercise that we've always known and loved to serve us in a certain way and help us to achieve, like a flat belly, that sort of thing. And suddenly that's just not happening because we have what's known as the chronic bloat. And chronic bloat is a real thing in perimenopause. So with the metabolic hormones, insulin, ghrelin, leptin, insulin, I said insulin, didn't I? Yes, insulin, leptin, ghrelin. There are all of these hormones that help our bodies to manage energy and to take energy from the food we're eating, but also to help us to manage and constrain our appetite. And we have problems with these in perimenopause. A lot of women do. It's very rare for any woman in perimenopause to not notice that she's eating differently or having different types of cravings. So while all these things are going on, this is the perfect time to just kind of step in, take control, and start looking at what you can do to manage your hormones better. And I'm talking to all of you ladies out there, all of you women between the ages of, say, 33 and 49. This is the perfect time. So my question to you today is, what steps are you taking right now, or what steps have you taken to balance your hormone health? And I want to give you some of my favorites that I've been implementing since I began my perimenopause journey. About 9 years ago, I began this journey. And I want to share these with you because some of them will be things that you will say, I can do that, and I can do that today, and I can start today. And others will be things that you can aspire to. Others will be things that you're already doing. So let's go. My number one thing that I've been implementing is a plant-based protein powder, and I use protein powder to manage my energy levels. Protein is very important for women. And if you want to know what the basics on protein are, as well as some foods that you can eat that are protein rich, have a look at my other video on protein, water, and fiber, the daily essentials, what you need every day. I'll put the link below for anyone who wants to have a look at that. I also use protein for mental function cognition. So believe it or not, all of your neurochemistry is based on amino acids. Amino acids come from protein. This means that if you have a low protein diet, you're more at risk of things like low mood, depression, difficulty focusing and remembering. Your cognitive function won't be as strong because you don't have the building blocks for those neurochemicals like dopamine, serotonin, but particularly acetylcholine. You need a lot of acetylcholine for memory and cognitive function. So the second thing I do is I have a daily herbal tea that supports my metabolism, and I sort of weave between different types of teas because I have lots of different herbs that I love. But particularly, I use an Ayurvedic approach to this and a Chinese medicine approach. So I look to the Eastern traditions when it comes to formulating teas because their formulation principles are so strong. So I use a lot of midsection or mid-body herbs that are yellow or orange in color, and they increase circulation to the center of my body. And they will do the same thing for you. So if you were to come in every day, have, say, a ginger lemon tea, that will help you with your metabolism because it helps to move energy through the midsection of your body. And this helps me to do things like achieve healthy weight, body composition, also helps me digest my food without getting too much bloating. And digestive, fermentation, gas, flatulence, all of that stuff. So the herbal tea to support metabolic hormones is my number 2. So my number 3 is actually having an individualized herbal formula that helps me to navigate perimenopause. I say individualized because it needs to be individualized. Every woman has different physiology. You might have, for example, iron deficiency, which would prevent you from having herbs like St. Mary's thistle, which will leach your iron. You might have issues with certain hormones. Maybe you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Maybe you have fibroids. I mean, everyone's needs are really different. So there is actually not one formula that will work for all women. And please bear this in mind if you're buying supplements for perimenopause and menopause that are designed for all women, because no, there is no one product that will work exactly the same for all women, but there are products that will work well for most women. But for you, this could be a time when, like me, you look for individualized care and work with a naturopath like me or a herbalist, or get your own women's health clinician to work with you on a formula that supports you. You will have specific symptoms that need addressing, and for me, I noticed, for example, that my cycles will be becoming shorter and shorter. So at the moment, I'm taking Vitex, Agnus castus, or chase tree berry to help me with the regulation of my cycles. And it really does also help with skin because I was experiencing some rosacea as well. And I might have mentioned before that perimenopause is very inflammatory. So rosacea is just another example of an inflammatory symptom that can come in perimenopause. Every morning I wake up at 6:15 exactly. I do a 20-minute meditation. This is a Vedic meditation. And I do this actually twice daily because it helps me to balance and calm my cortisol levels. I want good cortisol levels throughout the whole day, not just crazy raging cortisol levels in the morning when I wake up and I can't stop my mind, which makes me really, really productive for a couple of hours in the morning, but exhausted by the time I've had lunch. I don't want that. I want good, sustained cortisol release through the day, healthy levels. I also want to feel calm and at peace within myself. So I do this Vedic meditation practice twice a day. Straight after that, I grab my dog Sweet Pea and we go for a 1-hour hill walk. We're basically trying to get up hills to get my heart rate up, get me breathing heavy. I'm really trying to get the cardiovascular fitness up. In perimenopause, often we feel quite tired. So I also want to say that, you don't want to overwhelm your body, but you do want to have some cardiovascular activity in there and you want to have regularity to it. And often when I'm walking, I'm surrounded by cicadas here. We have a lot of gum trees in this beautiful area that I'm living in. So I really just try to take the nature in, and that becomes quite quite nice for me. That keeps me feeling calm, because one of the things you have to watch with exercise is that you don't stimulate your cortisol too much. So you don't want to be stressed. You just want to be enjoying the workout. So walking in nature is something that I really, really recommend. And I also do some abs workouts as well every day, about 5 to 15 minutes. So that's the physical activity aspect. So another thing that I do is every day I take a fish oil. I take an EPA DHA. The one that I take actually has these, they're called SPMs, but basically they're anti-inflammatories, and they're like a refined version, or not a refined, they're like a more potent version of an anti-inflammatory mixed in with the fish oils, which is already anti-inflammatory. And it is so important, everybody, because you will get inflammation in perimenopause. It will be in ways and symptoms that you did not expect. It will be joint pain. It will be skin rashes, or maybe acne, maybe rosacea, maybe blepharitis in your eyes. It will be reflux. It will be weird and wonderful things. But what they'll all share in common is there will be some pain, or there might be some redness, or there might be both. So the fish oils, I swear by them. They've also really helped me with dry eye syndrome, which I developed after having LASIK surgery. How many years are we going back now? That was 2008. That was the year I got married. So that was, over 16 years ago. I had LASIK surgery. So the fish oils are very important. The other thing that's worth mentioning, by the way, is that as women move into perimenopause and get closer to menopause, our internal environment changes. So we become more dry, more hot. And fish oils are a lovely way to create that cool, moist lubrication inside your body. So they are really good for us in perimenopause and menopause and beyond. Another thing I do every day is I take a collagen supplement. Me and Sweet Pea and I, we do a lot of walking. So I take the collagen supplement to help with my joints. And I vary this up a little bit. Sometimes I take, skin collagen sorts of products, and other times I take joint collagen sorts of products. I don't take one thing all the time forever. I do vary it. And that's helped immensely, because joint pain, knee pain, back pain are just another example of the inflammatory symptoms that we can get in perimenopause. And the last thing I get, I'm going to need Sweet Pea to show you this one. Sweet Pea, how much you? So the very last thing I do, everybody, is I get lots of hugs and cuddles wherever I can. It's partly for mental health, and it's because, we have a lot of loved ones in our lives, don't we? So hugs and cuddles for mental health. I do want to say perimenopause isn't always easy. It isn't always clear what you need to do. And, these hormones can make us feel a little bit stressed, a little bit down. So honestly, navigate it with as much grace as you can. And, just know that it is normal to feel like some crazy person has hijacked your body and your mind, and you're not liking what they're doing and what they're feeling. It's normal. And there are lots of things that you can do about it. And please reach out. This is Women Supporting Women. This is the work that I do. And if working on perimenopause hormones is something that you want to do, I'm here and I want to help you do that. So my contact details are below. And of course, there are other videos on this channel that you can watch. Also, don't forget to check out my blog. So thank you for watching, everybody. We will say goodbye now. We're going to go and have some lunch. And all the best to you on your hormone healing journey, your perimenopause journey. And thank you for watching this video.